These are your Unit B, Day 3 notes. These notes, we are going to look at slope in the real world. This is important. This is taking math and applying it to everyday life. So first of all, something that should be a review, slope is the rate of change, okay? Slope, rate of change, unit rate, all the same thing. So slope is the rate of change. When we are given these real-world scenarios, there are keywords that help you identify that this is the rate of change. And these words should not be new, but we're going to add them just so it's in a nice, easy place to find. So an example would be per. A few more examples here, and these are not the only ones that you'll see. Per, each, every, and a. These are words that might help you see or identify where the rate of change is in a given scenario. So please make sure you have that written down. Now, this is something that's new and really important to pay attention to. The Y-intercept is your starting point. All right, so sometimes, you know, you got money, you start with like $60 in the bank, somebody hooked you up. All right, now you're adding money every week to that bank account. So the amount you add every week is your rate of change. That's the consistent pattern that's happening over time. That's what you're doing over and over again. Now your Y-intercept is your starting point. You started with 60 bucks. So that's your starting point, which on this graph will be known as your Y-intercept. Okay, and keywords for the Y-intercept are, all right, like I said, some of these keywords. Fee begins with, starts at the start, or in the beginning. These are words that represent the Y-intercept in a given situation. So please make sure that you have those written down. And then let's look at this graph and practice using a graph to identify the rate of change, your slope, and what the heck does this graph represent in real world. That's what this is about. Okay, so the graph below shows the relationship between the distance a car is from home in feet and time in seconds. Find and interpret the key features. Okay, so this is showing how far a car is from home, and now we're going to figure out how fast it's traveling. So we have our distance in feet right here, so we know these numbers represent the distance in feet, and we have our time in seconds. So this represents our time. This is our independent variable, and this is our dependent variable. Okay? Now, this slope. We know how to find slope. It's rise over run. So I find my leftmost point and I go down 5 over 4. So what is my slope? It is 5 over 4. Okay? Now, what does that mean in the real world context? Well, let's look at the graph, okay? The car travels 5 feet every 4 seconds. And we see, you guys, right here, 5 is right here. We're going down 5. So 5 is our distance. So the car travels 5 feet. And then our time, which is our x-axis, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 feet every 4 seconds. All right. The next thing to do is to represent or see what the Y-intercept is. And the Y-intercept, you guys remember, is when it crosses the Y-axis. So we have our Y-axis right here. So I'm going to identify this as my Y-axis. All right. And where does it cross? It crosses right here at 10. So what is my Y-intercept? My Y-intercept is 0, 10. Remember, it's always that 0 because the x is at 0. So 0, 10, that's my Y-intercept. And what does that mean? That means at the start, the car is 10 feet away from home. Okay, that's the starting point. And I don't know why this is on here twice, so you don't need to write the same thing twice. So let's cross that off. Make sure you have this information in your notes, and let's move on to the next problem. Okay, here we go. I'm going to do a few more examples, and then you'll try some on your own. So let's look at what this graph is all about. The graph below shows the relationship between the amount of money in a piggy bank, Y, amount of money, Y, and time, X. Time, X. You can see that this is labeled time, and this is labeled amount of money. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find that Y-intercept. And remember, the Y-intercept is where it crosses the Y-axis. So I like to highlight the Y-axis so I know where it is. And then I find that point where it's crossing, which is right there. So the Y-intercept, always start with a 0 for your X, is 0, 3. That's the ordered pair that represents the Y-intercept. And what does that mean? That means that at the start, at the beginning, the amount of money in a piggy bank is 3 doll hairs. So what does that mean? That means that the piggy bank starts with $3, or the piggy bank has $3. Piggy bank starts with $3. All right, that's my starting point. That's what the Y-intercept represents. Now, what is the slope? You know, in order to find the slope, you go rise over run. So I'm going to start with my leftmost point, and you can see I go up 1 over 2. So up 1 over 2. So what does that mean? Okay, well, let's look at our axis. We have amount of money, okay? So it's up 1. So that means the bank is gaining $1 every 2 days. The piggy bank, that is. So what does that means? The bank, I'm just going to call it the bank, gains $1 every 2 days. All right, let's move on. So this next one, the graph shows the relationship between the number of shirts in a store, Y, my Y-axis, number of shirts in a store, and time, X, time. So we're seeing how many shirts are in the store. And we can see it's a decrease. So how many shirts are they losing? What is that rate of change? So first we're going to find the Y-intercept. That's the starting points. How many shirts did they start with? Find my Y-axis. I'm going to circle where it crosses the Y-axis. It is 9, so the Y-intercept is 0, 9. What does that mean? The store starts with 9 shirts. All right, next I'm going to find my slope, which is my rise over run. So I can see that I go down 3 and over 2. So I'm going down, so that's negative 3 over 2. And what does that mean? The store is selling 3 shirts, 3 shirts every 2 days. That does not sound like that store is making a ton of money. So let's see, let's write that down. The store sells 3 shirts every 2 days. I know I'm trying to keep these to 10 minutes or less. Sorry, guys. I'm going to fly through this one, and then you'll do the next 3 on your own. All right. We're going to find that y-intercept. What do? Find my y-axis. Next, I find the point where it crosses the y-axis, which is 5. So the y-intercept is 0, 5. What does that mean? Well, we are looking at the graph shows the relationship between total cost, y, and the number of pasta dishes ordered, x. Okay, so that means that the starting point is $5. And then we have to think through that. Like, what would a starting point be? Why would you start with $5 in cost before you even started ordering the pasta? And that's because there's a fee. Think about it. When you order something, there's usually a delivery fee. So what does that 5 represent? The 5 represents is there is a $5 delivery fee. All right. Sorry, not the best handwriting. Just trying to work through it quickly. All right, so we know it's a starting point of $5 because you're ordering some food and you start with that delivery fee. Next, I'm going to find my slope, which is my rise over run. So I go up 1, 2, 3, and I can see, you guys, that this is an increase of 5. So really, when we have to think about this, we're going up 5, 10, 15. So it's 15, and then we have to go over 1. And down here you can see that these are going up by 1, so it is a 1 there. So we'll put the 1 right here. So the slope is 15 over 1, and what does that mean? That means each dish costs $15. Each dish cost $15. All right, make sure this is all in your notes. Sorry, handwriting's super messy today. I'll be better tomorrow. Okay, here we go. Pause the video and do these ones on your own, and then you're gonna come back and check your work for mistakes. Or maybe you won't have any mistakes. We'll find out. All right, hopefully you had a chance to try these on your own. You should pause the video and check your answers. And if you have any questions, make sure that you get back to me in class.